What's going on, guys? I'm David with Transparency Fitness Live, and today we have Mike Gardner, personal trainer, badass, Mr. Suave over here. This guy has done all kinds of things throughout his life. Well known here in Lexington as a great personal trainer, great with mobility. And we're gonna talk about like how you got here and tell us a little bit about yourself. Life. Yes, we want some life information about you.
Where are we starting?
Where do you want to start? Well, I mean, okay, so sports, right? High school, college. You played in college as well, right?
So I played basketball, football, track in high school. Football was a late addition. I did that senior year, and then played a little ball at UK for freshman and sophomore, and then played basketball, and then had opportunities to go and play overseas.
Okay.
But I was just at a point in my life where I was ready to live,
I feel that.
Live my own life, go make my own decisions, and not have a coach or team telling me where I needed to be and when I needed to be there. So
were you really into the gym, I guess, when you're going through the athlete? Because I mean, like when I swam, I hardly ever hit the gym. A lot of stuff for me was just repetition, get in the water and practice.
I had to go to work on myself because I saw early on, there were players that were doing stuff as like jumping out of the gym, and I didn't have a very high vertical, but I saw people who did, and I was like, I want to go get that because I want that on my tool belt.
Right.
So I went to work figuring out how to build that for myself, and I worked really hard for the level of athleticism that I reached.
Because I mean, personal training is kind of your thing these days. I mean, and really working with mobility and stuff for people. And I was just kind of wondering, kind of like the history and like your knowledge base, right? So like most people, like myself, I didn't start really getting introduced to the gym till my late 20s is when I first started lifting, and a lot of that was just a buddy just being like, hey, try this out or try that, where you kind of have a base from that going back to a pretty much a professional athlete almost. Being able to hit the gym and learn things and have trainers around you that probably taught you things at a younger age. Absolutely. That a lot of people don't have.
Absolutely. It was definitely a blessing to have a lot of knowledge around me. While I was at UK, whenever I was playing ball elsewhere, I played at Southwestern Illinois and really enjoyed my time there. It was great to be surrounded by so much knowledge. I think I could have done, looking back now, it's like I could have done a better job of really soaking up what was available.
I think that's something that we all, believe me, if I look back to like when I was swimming in high school, and there's like, man, if I had taken it a little bit more serious, like I probably could have gone to some D1 schools, but I really could have taken it somewhere. But I think, self-reflection is good.
Hindsight
but
is 2020.
It is, but the thing is, if we learn from that, I try to be aware of that now, so that 5 years from now, when I'm 40 years old, that I'm not looking back being like, man, I'm doing it again.
Yeah, I fell in the same.
And I can only do this so many times in life before there is no more.
There's no more life left. I made the same circle. There's a quote I heard. Most people live the same day 365 days a year for every year of their life, and they call that a life. And it's like they live the same, literally just the same day on repeat.
I've never understood some people's mindsets in the aspect, and I never get down anybody that works in fast food or whatever they want to, but I feel like there is a handful of people that they are okay with doing that over and over and over again. And that's, for me, I've never really understood that, because in my mind, I couldn't do that. Like, if I'm not constantly learning or growing, or, I own like 3 different businesses because I get interest, and then I learn from them. I always want more knowledge, more in life. And like you said, some people, they're content with that.
Absolutely.
And that's great for them, but not how I operate.
There are certain individuals that is like a living hell. Like for me, the thought of going and every day showing up to the same desk and the same cubicle and doing the same stuff, like for me, that's like the ideal of hell.
Yeah, office space, right?
But some people that they are so okay with it, and And it's like if that's their joy, if
Yeah.
they truly find joy,
And I don't
in
get
that,
down on them for that.
much
You know?
love for them. It's just I don't want it. And
Exactly.
it's necessary. You know, it takes a tribe.
And they may have other passions outside of work, so to them, they're okay doing the same job every day, and then they put their time and effort into those
I'm gonna go
passions.
get my money so that I can go and do whatever I want to do outside of it.
Right. However, there are also those people that get off those jobs, play video games, watch TV. They consume, right? They spend the whole night consuming. And then they go to bed, they wake up, and they do it all over again. And while consuming entertainment is great, there's so much more out there that you could be doing, right?
Absolutely.
You just got back from vacation too, didn't you?
Yeah,
a couple weeks ago.
yeah,
I saw you play, like, doing some volleyball.
I did. That's been my new joy.
Volleyball.
Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely.
You do up at a lot up at Marika's then?
Yeah. I live in that place. Really, really glad that I found that community. A lot of
Okay.
really cool
Do you know a guy named Honor?
Yeah,
An Angel?
Yeah.
Okay.
I know that crew.
I know they're hardcore volleyballers as well.
Yeah, we gotta get you out there sometime.
I'll come play. I can't promise I won't embarrass myself, but
I think we all do whenever you're learning something new.
Yes.
Sometimes you're gonna.
My volleyball skill set is no bueno.
For me, I was athletic, so it's like I could get to ball, I could get to places.
But then it's
get
the
to
movements,
balls,
right?
But there's so much skill that's required once.
Like how you
there.
hit the ball, where you hit the ball,
Absolutely.
when
Your
you hit the
platform,
ball.
What's your platform look like? Are you keeping it whenever you're diving?
They get serious over there.
Absolutely. There's some really good players. It's been fun learning that sport.
Yeah.
But yeah, so I went down to Florida and played at a tournament there called FUDS.
Okay.
Ended up third out of 54 teams with a team that had never played. We'd never played until we got to that tournament.
Third out of 54 teams.
Yeah, it was pretty cool.
And now, was it 3-on-3?
Or
was it
4?
It was 4-on-4. Okay.
We also did,
Is that the common? Is it 4-on-4 usually, or is 3-on-3 a thing too?
That's pretty common around here.
Okay.
There's a lot of high level 2-on-2, and that's what I've really been enjoying learning is 2-on-2 volleyball.
That means you're 50% of the team. Like you got to be on point.
Yeah. Somebody told me, they were like, "Hey, if you really want to learn volleyball, then you got to go play dubs because you're either passing the ball or you're
Right.
about to pass the ball or set the ball, hit the ball." So
You got to be very aware.
yeah, you're doing everything at some point.
Okay.
So it's a very fun game.
So like jumping back to college, what'd you get your degree in, by the way?
So I didn't finish school.
Really?
Yeah, I got my the arts, what's it called, the arts degree or whatever,
Bachelor in Arts.
whatever it's called. I got senior year 3 classes left, and I'm sitting in a class and I'm thinking about my life, and I'm like, what am I doing this for? Why am I here? I don't want to be here, and I don't need to be here. Until I realize, if I ever realize that I need to go back for college, I know right now that
It's
I don't
not for
need
you.
to be here. Yeah,
It's not for everybody, to be honest.
And I left, and I finished up the year, and I was like, I'm not coming back, and maybe I will one day, but I found out what I was passionate about, and that was serving people.
Okay.
I love to serve. I love to help people, and I didn't need to go and give all of my dollars to some school.
Well, there's something to be said about watching someone succeed. Like maybe you've got a hand in it, but physically seeing them, the way their mindset changes as they see themselves succeed in something that they may not thought was possible, or they thought, this is not worth the hard work, right? But then they put it in and they're like, wow, right?
Absolutely. It's a beautiful journey to get to be a part of.
Yeah, it truly is.
To see them put it together and step to new levels of life and open up new options,
Right.
I think that's one of the most beautiful things that we can help people create for themselves is options. It's like I have choices of which way I want to go.
That's a good way of looking at it. Yeah.
Which way I want to be. How do I want to
Right.
be? How do I want to go? And to help them open up those things for themselves, whether it's movement, I can do this thing. I can do a push up, or I can do a pull up, or it's a way of thinking. I have options. I have options of how I should.
Right. And then they start realizing that in the rest of their lives.
Absolutely.
And then maybe certain things in their lives can change outside of just the fitness aspect, right?
I don't have to always feel a certain way. I'm allowed to shift my state. I'm allowed to choose.
I don't know. In today's world, I don't know if it's safe to change your minds.
You're stuck.
Yeah.
You're stuck where you're at.
Well, that's amazing. So you realized you wanted to serve. Why personal training? Did you look into other, I guess, types of serving jobs, maybe nursing, police officer, that kind of stuff? Like, why did you land on personal training?
I think it just made sense. I spent my life, moving my body and enjoying the benefits of like a body that.
Were you still working out at this point in time in your life?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so you were still hitting the gym while you were figuring all this out and
God.
realizing that serving was the thing that you wanted to do.
I lived in the gym.
Okay,
that was my jam.
So that probably had some influence as well.
Gym
Then
was my jam.
being around the gym, being like, oh, what if I can make money while I'm hanging out here?
It was my escape.
Oh, for sure.
It was my escape.
Yeah.
If life was heavy, I was in the gym lifting something heavy. If honestly, whether it was up or down or whichever way it was, that was kind of
the one thing that stayed the same, right? It was like
it
was the one constant in your life.
Yep. So I spent a lot of time in the gym, so it just made sense to go and to give that. I looked around, growing up, I grew up in a family that wasn't super active, so to get to go and help bring that to the family, to help.
Do you have some of your family members that you've helped and worked with?
We had a really cool picture. One of my favorite pictures that I have, it was like mom, dad, grandma, grandpa, my uncle, sister, aunt, a good, like all the core crew. And it was like through like 300, between 300 and 400 pounds. I can't remember exactly what it was, but of weight loss.
Between your family?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So it was like that.
You're going to have to give me the key here because I've gotten a few of my family members to jump on board, but I got a couple more. I'm like, come on, let's do this.
Yeah. I think that's the thing. You have to, once you have the one or two that are like the ones that are, what is it called? The outliers.
Right.
The early adopters that are willing to say, you know what, like I see the vision and I'm in. And you get a couple of, you get one or two of those, and then it starts to spread because you can't not see joy.
Right.
Joy is bright and beautiful and brilliant. And whenever you see someone's joy increase, like the whole room lights.
Oh my gosh.
The whole room recognizes it because they light the whole room up.
There's a feeling, or
people want that.
Yeah. They want to feel it. They want to give it, but sometimes people find it hard. They find it hard to find it.
Absolutely.
And I think fitness is one of the best ways to feel that emotion, right?
Yeah. You release so many happy chemicals in your brain when you move your body.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's definitely an easy way to bring some beautiful energy about. Oh yeah, I gotta. I'm like chilling.
This guy's like, I don't need to be around the mic. I'll just yell. Anyways, as I was saying, now.
Kicking back. Does the camera still pick me up when I'm here?
Yeah, it should. Yeah.
Hey,
yeah, we try to make it so. Yeah, I know, right? Look at you.
Like put an ottoman down here.
Yeah, right. No, then we're gonna make you too comfortable. You're gonna fall asleep in the middle of this podcast.
Wake up.
Okay, so you want to serve. You decided on personal training. Kind of where'd you go from there?
So I also realized I wanted to to travel. That
okay.
Was
so that was another goal of yours during this. Okay.
Yeah. So a big part of why I stopped playing ball was because I wanted to go and see the world. So I was like in this place where it's like, okay, I know I want to serve. I know I want to help my family create change in their lives, because I see how much joy comes from a body that you're taking care of.
Right.
It's a lot easier to access joy whenever you're taking care of your body. So I wanted to be able to bring that to my family, but also travel the world while I do it. So I started coaching online, and so I found that opportunity and a mentor to help me do it.
I was going to say, how did you get that started? Because I feel like a lot of personal trainers don't jump right into the online thing. They kind of build up a base locally, face-to-face, and then over time they add that online option, I guess, in the manner of speaking.
Absolutely. I think there are lots of different paths that we can all take.
Oh, 100%.
For me, mine was I found a coach who introduced me. Have you heard of Beachbody?
Yeah, of course.
So introduced me to Beachbody. I actually realized after probably a year or so, I was like, wait a second. like my first introduction to it was like a friend of mine that I had been working with at the time in college reached out, and he was like, Mike, man, I see you're always exercising. You take care of yourself. You're a really good friend of mine. I was just wondering if like, can we do this together? I really want to feel better. It's like, I really want to, I'm tired of feeling tired. I'm tired of being sick. I'm tired of not being able to move my body like I used to be able to. Like, would you do this program with me? And I'm like, yeah, bro, let's go. So we did P90X. And dude, it kicked my
P90X. I've done the there's the other one, Insanity.
Yep.
I did that for a couple months. Oh my gosh.
Did Insanity.
It was, you don't really build a lot of muscle, but man, your cardiovascular
Sean T is insane. A freak. I don't like that program was rowdy. Oh my goodness. That's the one program that I stayed away from.
How can something that's body weight hurt that bad?
Oh my goodness. The burn. But yeah, so I got started with that, and I said no to the personal training thing for a long time.
Okay.
Because my focus was how can I help my family and anybody else who is down to commit to taking care of themselves.
So you kind of just started out just helping people then.
Yeah.
And so you even gotten like your certification by then or anything like that?
No, not at that
Okay,
point,
so
no.
you were literally just kind of dipping your toe in a little bit to see.
Yeah, for me it was I love these programs. They get people awesome results. I want to go and serve. This is something that people need.
Right.
Someone who is going to bring them together with a beautiful community and bring the energy. Sometimes you wake up and you don't feel like doing it. And so someone who is going to help them get in there and press play and just get it done.
Accountability.
Some days you just have to press play and get it done. So yeah, the accountability side of it. So that was where I started. And then after a while, I started realizing that I'm really enjoying learning about the body. So let's dive deeper into it, and let's go start working with people specifically, because a big part of what I realized is just like I had come up, I knew how to kick my own butt. I knew how to bust my butt in the gym.
But other people, I guess they different people react different ways in the way that you coach and teach them. So you knew how to do you, but you probably had to learn.
Absolutely.
Like how do I like the way I look at things are not the same way someone else does.
Absolutely. And that was definitely something to adapt to. Is not exactly like you said. Not everybody thinks and operates the same. So that was a fun part of the experience. How do you help someone tap into their whatever you want to call it, motivation, or their vision for their future? What is it? How do you help them tap into that? Some people, for my, some clients, it's I want to play the sport. For my grandma, it was I want to be able to move. I want to be able to run around with my grandbabies. And it took a while,
But she put the work in, right?
Yeah, it took a while to find the spot. Because it was like I tried. I was like, let's get her on board. Let's get her on board. And then once we tapped into the grandkids thing, it was like she was
really. So it took a little bit of work to talk her into getting into it.
Yeah, took a bit, but once she committed, she was on it and on fire. And
she loved it.
Yeah, she absolutely. She was rocking it, and like her, she was really in. Yeah, she lost 67 pounds.
Oh my gosh,
67 pounds.
I bet you the way she can move now, like just the physically being able to move her body with that much less weight, like it has to feel amazing.
Yeah. She was a very proud woman. I was a very proud grandson.
You should be. That's amazing.
That was fun getting to start there, and then just spreading out to who else needs this and is down to step up and step into.
So were you helping your family with food as well then early on?
Yeah, because Beachbody has all the nutrition plans and stuff. Just
so you were
okay.
So you were going through the Beachbody's nutrition.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. So just helping them learn how to eat. How do I fuel my body and stay consistent to what my body needs and not just what tastes good.
It's so hard sometimes.
Absolutely. Thinking of food as fuel. It's like, okay, what does my body really need? And let's start prioritizing that. And it doesn't have to look like a complete 180 in one day. Sometimes it's a process, and it's a gradual, working into the lifestyle that you see for yourself ideally. And sometimes you don't know what that ideal picture looks like.
Yeah, I kind of find with food, I do what I call baby steps, and I pick a few things. I make all my new clients do a food journal, first 2 weeks, and then I pick small things. Like if I see that a client eats 2 cookies a day or X amount of dessert, I may be like, let's do a dessert every other day, and then slowly take it away till they're like their body's slowly adjusted, if they're able to stick with it. And the ones that have have done well for themselves.
Right on. That's awesome. So, what's been your favorite part of training so far?
To be honest, I love program design.
Okay.
So I love sitting down, and the biggest thing is once I make that first initial program, I usually get 2 or 3 weeks into the program and I want to change it because now I've gotten to know the person. Now I see like specific things that I want to work on, but then I got to remind myself like there's a reason that I made that initial program and why I picked 4 weeks or 8 weeks or 12 weeks for that person. And so I stick to it because they're adjusted to it. And then I get to make a new program once, so the progression, right? So I love making these programs and then progressing people. And certain things I'll progress during the program. If it's like a basic balancing thing, I'll make it more and more difficult. But if it's something that's weightlifting related, I usually kind of leave that and make those changes when I'm ready for the next program design. So, but that's been honestly my favorite part of personal training. How about yourself?
Man, I love getting to show up how my clients need me to on that day. There will be some days where I come in with a game plan and I can see based on how they walked in the door, you know what? Yes, we could do that. And that was the plan. But today I see something. I see an opportunity to do something different.
Okay.
And so to give them what I see is needed, necessary, even if it's in the middle of a workout, and it's just like, oh, we need to work on this.
So you like being very attuned to your clients.
Yeah,
that's a big thing for you.
With the mobility thing, I really get to go and just look at, what can your shoulder be a shoulder? Can your hip be a hip? And if not, can we teach it how to do its stuff better?
Right.
And getting to show up and just look at, where my clients are, meet them where they are, and then help them create improvements in their movement system.
So what are some of the stuff you're doing with the mobility stuff? I mean, kind of what got you into it, and like, what are some very specific things that you're working with on clients that have really helped mobility wise?
Mm-hmm. So I would say what got me into it was realizing that I'd spent my life beating my body up. I played a lot of basketball.
Your knees got to hurt some days.
Absolutely. So I had to learn how to reverse that. It's like I was 28, 29 or something at the time. And I was just realizing, I'm going to have some aches and pains that weren't there before. And I'm either going to learn how to fix this and reverse it, prevent it.
Right.
Or I'm going to, continue to spiral down.
Well, at least keep it from progressing, right?
Absolutely. So really dove into the whole FRS system and functional range system.
Right. Okay.
And that was an awesome rabbit hole to find because I've really that's really changed the way that I train.
What is FRS? I mean, like it's the functional range system, but I mean, is it like a group of people that have put together materials to help you learn more about functionality and mobility?
Several doctors and trainers that have come together and created a system for teaching our system how to do its stuff the best.
Okay.
So we have basic human movements. My shoulder, a healthy shoulder should be able to move in a certain range of movement. And if it's not able to, if stuff gets sticky because an injury or we haven't been using our stuff, that limits what that shoulder's able to do. And if my shoulder can't do its stuff, something else is going to try to. My spine can try to help me reach over my head by extending really far back so that my shoulder doesn't have to. But it can only do it for so long. My spine can only be a shoulder for so long before it starts, having its own issues. So teaching.
So it's that balance.
Yeah, it's like how do I train my body so that it can do each individual link in my chain can do its job. And once each individual link in the chain can do its job the best, then the whole chain is stronger. And that's what's been really cool for me inside this practice is, as my mobility, as I get stronger at my end ranges, I haven't been focusing on my deadlifts and my benches and squats like I was before, but they're stronger than ever. Because my all the way down to my nervous system, my nervous system knows that more and more my stuff is prepared to go to work, and it has a better understanding of how to do it and how to do its job really well. So the lifts go up a lot easier.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So how long have you been really focused on this and like
0
peace? Camera guy's out, I guess, guys. He's not going to take any more pictures of us. He's done. The camera's probably broken, actually.
He was snapping.
Yeah, he was going at it. But yeah, so so how long have you been actually doing this, and how long did it take before you were like, oh my gosh, like this is legit, and like I need to put more time and focus into this?
It's been 3 years now.
Oh, so you've really been taking a lot of time and learning this like teaching it to yourself.
Yeah, it's been about 3 years now, and I went and I got certified. Let's see, where's a good place to start? I started diving into it, like I said, because I realized my body needs me to take care of it better as far as recovery goes. Because I was feeling the aches and pains, and it was just asking me to take care of it. So I went and got certified, and then I fell off a waterfall.
What?
I fell off a waterfall, bro.
You're not supposed to fall off waterfalls. That's a no-go situation.
The crazy thing is, man, I had jumped off the waterfall 3 times already. I'm in Hawaii, beautiful Kauai, and we'd hiked for forever that day to find this waterfall.
How high up was it?
Like 30, 35 feet.
Okay. Did you just slip?
Well, I decided I wanted to go and put my GoPro on the other side so that it could catch us jumping off the other side. Because it's like a bowl. A waterfall was like a bowl. And when you would jump off this side of the bowl, I wanted to go around to the other so I'd had a good shot of us jumping off of the waterfall.
That makes sense.
And the jump. So I walked back about 10 feet off the edge of the waterfall. And I kind of like look at the water. It was only like, maybe 4 inches deep. It wasn't that deep at all. Put my foot in, test it. Is it slippery? No, it's not slippery. And I start walking out, test it again. It's not slippery. Oh, I'm good. Start walking through, and I've got about a 15 feet of water to walk through.
Okay.
So I'm walking, I get in the middle, and I take this one step, bro, and it was like snot on glass.
Oh no.
As soon as I put my foot down, it was just gone. It wasn't under me anymore. It was going towards the edge, and that turned me around on my butt, and I'm like just slipping towards the edge. And
you have no control.
And it's like a slow death, bro. I'm going like 1 mile an hour towards this cliff that's
no
like
control.
10 feet away, and I'm like putting my hands down and feet down and freaking out and thinking about I'm about to die. This is a big there are rocks down there. So I'm like trying to stop myself. I look over at my friend Casey, and her eyes are just like, I can't help you, big. Her eyes are so big, and there's so much fear in them. And I turn around, and I was like, I'm not dying today. And I literally, like, right before I go over the edge, it was like this moment of clarity.
Right.
As soon as I had that thought, I'm about to die, it was like, no, I'm not. Moment of clarity. And I thought, okay, what's below me? I've got a ledge that's like 10 to 15 feet down, and I don't know how wide it is, but I know it's there. I'm going to have to like absorb some impact on that. And I'm like shaking. I'm cold. Got to put my hands back in my hoodie.
It is a little chilly in here tonight.
It's getting cold out. I'm not ready for winter.
Yeah. Well, that's actually what this whole system is right here. That's called a mini split, and it's going to pump heat and AC into the place.
That's dope.
So that, I don't think my clients...
Moving on up.
Yeah, clients don't want to work out at 20 degree weather.
Me and my buddy Mike used to come out to the garage just like this.
It get cold as shit.
Absolutely.
Oh my gosh.
Frigid, but we'd run out, get there 30 minutes early, run out, turn it on, turn the heater on, run back in.
Yeah, we've got a little propane heater for now, but that thing's loud and
that's the same.
It's expensive, man.
That's the same one.
It's the same type of
one he had, I bet.
Running propane all day long is like
that's expensive.
Yeah, so that's why I got the mini split.
Absolutely.
So what? We're falling off the waterfall. I know everyone's been on the edge of they're like, when are they going to get back to the waterfall story? Like, we want to hear the rest of the waterfall story.
I'm glad you came back to it, because I was literally in my brain like, where were we at?
What happened?
Where were we at? So I land on that first ledge. It was like probably 15 feet down.
Okay.
Land on that ledge, and I try to just catch myself. So I like land in a squat, but there was a wall. The waterfall wall was right behind me, just all rock. And as soon as I like shot my butt back to land in the squat, it was just boom right into that wall, and it launched me forward. And that was probably another 15 feet or so down to this 10 to 15 feet down to this big ass boulder, and I just smacked that on my left hip. I think it knocked me out, honestly, because I don't remember hitting the water. I just remember like opening my eyes up underwater and thinking, oh, my phone is in here, like my phone is in here somewhere, and my tripod is in here, and my GoPro and my light.
My gosh.
And so I start like swimming up to the surface, and I find my hat, and I find my GoPro. It's floating, thank God, and my phone was still in my hand. I didn't realize it at first.
Was the phone fine?
Yeah, it was fine. It was fine.
Apple, iPhone, yeah. Good job, Apple.
Thank you. So I swim over to a rock, and I just kind of assess myself. I'm like, I'm bleeding, but I think I'm okay. Nothing's sticking out.
Did you go to the hospital?
I didn't.
Of course you didn't.
Such a bro. I just went.
Do you have health insurance? Did you have health insurance at that time?
I did.
Okay.
I did. I just was stubborn and
you're just like, I'm good. I'm good.
Well, I just went and got that certification, and it was like, okay, I think I'm good. I kind of did, like, I have a good awareness of my body, and it's
right.
like, I feel okay. I felt tight. There was definitely some tightness. I probably should have went and gotten, I ended up going and, working with a chiropractor and working with a PT a little bit. But probably could have done that earlier, but I used the FRC stuff on myself instead.
Okay. Did you find that stuff was almost more functionally better for you than even what the PT was probably having you do?
Honestly, like I fixed myself. At one point, my hip was really bothering me, and that was causing my knee to really bother me, and I was playing volleyball on it too much, so my shoulder was as well. It turns out when I went to the chiropractor, he took x-rays, and it was like, your right hip is hiked
I wonder
up
why.
And rotated back, and your spine is trying to turn you back forward to keep your eyes forward. Our bodies are so incredible. But yeah, that definitely jacked me up, but it gave me an opportunity to fix myself, and that was pretty
So you really got to see what doing these mobility exercises and the programs that you were doing, same thing with my knee, like being able to like take something that's in so much pain or so jacked up, and then fixing it yourself is going to make it so much easier, I'm sure, for you to explain to people the value and how important something like mobility really is on a day-to-day basis.
Absolutely.
Because when you haven't been mobile and then you become more mobile, like you're just like, you need to feel this. Like same thing with stretching, like people that don't stretch, like if you can just stretch for like a month, like you will be like, oh my God, like, wow.
Your joy will increase.
Yeah, it really will, man. Like being flexible and like it feels
increases.
so good.
All over
when
the
you feel
place.
that difference.
Yep. All over the place. I love to hike and be outdoors, and so for me, it's
really, I would never guess with all the Instagram posts that you have.
you such a
you never go outdoors.
We're Instagram friends. I love being outside, and a big part of like why I want to keep my body able to do its thing is for that. And it's like, so realizing I'm really enjoying learning volleyball, and those things really motivate me to take care of my body more and more, and it's been fun figuring it out.
Well, one of my scariest, I think, one of the things I fear the most is as I get older, my body like failing me and falling apart. Mm-hmm. Like that scares me. So I'm all about like recovery and mobility, stretching, stability, because like I don't want to be 60, 70 years old and not able to move. Like I still want to be able to drive. I still want to be able to go hiking. Mm-hmm. Now I can't promise my brain's going to be all there, right? No telling if Alzheimer's hits me or something like that. But far as physically, until I can't physically go to the gym, I'm going to try to always be, I'm going to be focusing on that kind of stuff.
Yeah. I'm not a doctor, and this is not doctor's advice. I've heard using your left hand or your opposite hand for things. This is just a fun thought that came up when you said Alzheimer's. I've heard using your offhand for things, and juggling are two things that are great for helping keep your brain alive and healthy longer.
That makes sense. Well, because you're constantly making new pathways because it's doing things it's
Yep.
not used to.
Yep.
It's like, I don't do this. I'm like, today you do.
Yeah, so it's just like the rest of your body. It's
Right.
like if you wanna keep it, move it, use it. If you want to keep your mind,
Yeah.
move it.
Yeah. My
Use
grandma
it.
always believed reading was
Absolutely.
and she put the dementia, Alzheimer's didn't hit her till her late 80s, I think, is when it was bad.
Right on. If you look at all of the great leaders, leaders are readers. I think, and even more than that, I think leaders are learners.
Well,
Leaders
most are.
learner. Yeah, that's true. Leaders.
Some of the leaders that we've had recently, I don't know.
That term has been used a little loose.
Yeah. But yes, I know what
Loosely.
you're saying, though,
Yeah.
especially when you go back to a time before television or like when TV was very early on, like, the early 20s. Like that's, how did you amass your knowledge base? Through other people and information through books.
Yeah.
Also, a lot of people at that point in time probably did not even have the education to be able to read, which is sad.
That's true. That's true. So then it's like, okay, are you a learner?
Right.
It's like
Can
you don't
you
know
learn?
how to read, but you can go learn still, and that's a beautiful thing.
Yeah. I'd like to think I have a learner's mindset
Right on. It's
and a
beautiful-
teacher's mindset as well.
Well, same here. I really love to teach.
There's something about teaching somebody something. So, I don't think we've really talked about kind of the background of Transparency Fitness, but Transparency Fitness, the biggest thing that I wanted to really push out there through my brand was that not only am I your coach, but I want to teach you. So like when I'm doing exercises with people, I'm calling out muscles so that they constantly are like, they hear that a quad muscle, hamstring, and then if they want more, we'll get more specific with muscles. But usually that's at least teaching them primary movers, right?
Know thyself.
Right. But I also, when I'm having them do exercises, I'm calling out form, right? And I'm constantly making sure that they hear these things over and over again. So like if they're ever lifting without me, they're just like, oh, okay, yeah, don't lock out when I do this. David's telling me not to, right?
Yeah.
So that if they, let's say, move away and I still build their program, I want them to feel confident to walk into a gym, be able to pick up any piece of equipment. And I'm really, to be honest, I want them to be able to build their own program, right?
Yeah.
By the time they're done with me. Now, it may take 6 months to a year, but that's the whole idea with Transparency Fitness. Like, I'm here to help you achieve your goals. And if you ever want to leave me, I totally get that. But I hope you will have the knowledge base to continue your own personal fitness journey without a personal trainer because of what I've taught you.
Absolutely.
And so that's the in-game goal for me with my clients.
That's one of the first things I tell my clients when they walk in the door is my goal is to help you know how to take care of you.
Yeah.
To create the results you want. And if you decide to stick around, it's because you enjoy being around me and you know that I'm committed to learning.
Right.
So it's like you got a fountain to come and learn from when you want to. And I think there are a lot of people who create clients who need them, that think they're the savior. It's like, oh, like I need him. If I don't have that person,
Right.
then
Yeah, I get that mind. Yeah.
yeah. And
I don't
it's
want.
like,
I don't ever want my
no,
clients.
no,
You
not
don't
at
need
all.
me.
Not at all. It's like my goal is for you to not need me.
Yeah,
That's awesome.
I actually
That's
had a
awesome.
client recently. He's almost. We've been working out a lot together. He's one of my few online clients, and he's in great shape, and he knows what he's doing. And I told him one time, I was like, you know, you don't have to like pay me, right? Like literally, you don't need me to succeed. Like you've already been maintaining for like 8 months. You know what you're doing, and he's like, no, man, I don't think I would have gotten here without like your accountability, and that to me is worth the money every month, is just to know that like I have to be somewhat accountable to you because I'm paying you money,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yep.
But he doesn't need me. But hey, I'll keep taking his money if he wants to, and I'll keep trying to teach him and make him achieve his goals the way he wants to. But he doesn't necessarily need me to do that. Like he could sit down and build his own programs now.
Right.
Like I've taught him enough.
That's awesome.
But no, he's been super successful. And
Yeah.
if I don't watch out, he's going to be lifting more than me, and then that's going to look. He's going to take all my client now.
Go get him. Go get him. Yeah, not everybody. I think not everybody loves to be in the gym. So
Right.
some people need that accountability. They need to have that person where it's like, hey, I'm giving you my money, so I'm gonna show up.
Right.
When
Right.
people, what's that saying? When
People value
pay,
on money.
Yeah.
Right.
When people pay, they pay attention.
Yeah, and that's so true. Like it is easy. It would probably be easier for me to get more people to show up for my Sunday Fun Day if I charge $10 because they're like, well, I'm committed because I'm spending the money.
100%.
Where when it's free, they're kind of like, well, if I don't show up, and if I do, it's no difference either way because they don't really have any skin in the game unless they really want to work out. And the people that do show up and really want to work out, they're like my family because they show up every week and we just hit it together.
Get after. I got to get out here for one.
You really do. I think you'll have fun.
I've been doing events on Sundays.
You've just seen the Instagram stories, and you're like, whew, I don't know if I'm all about that.
That
I've actually had a couple people tell me, I've seen what you guys do, and I don't want to do that.
Like, I don't want that life.
Because it's not exactly CrossFit, but I guarantee you're going to walk away hurting.
Yeah, CrossFit-ish. It looks like it.
So,
looks
yeah.
like a good time.
Oh, it's so much fun. It really is. The Zane, the neighbor, he was the only one that showed up for the 1 o'clock class, and he did that, and he made the mistake of, so we have a time for the Assault Fitness bike over here. We have, I held the record for 25 calories in 23 seconds, and he decided at the end of the workout that he was going to try to beat that. And he'd just done like 45 minutes of beating his body up. He managed to get 21 seconds and 25 calories, but he almost didn't manage to make it out of the garage to throw up.
Oh, he puked.
Yeah, he puked. And I'm like, why would you do that at the end of the workout? Like, you just killed yourself, and then you you could go do that cold, and you're going to be like dead.
To prove a point.
Yes. And then the high school kid a couple doors down tried to, he's like, oh, I can get higher up on that list. And he puked as well. Try to do 25 calories as fast as you can, man. It'll hit you. If you do it in the middle or at the end of your workout.
I feel like nothing taxes me like the Airdyne.
Well, it's because of your what system is it? Your ATP system, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, you physically feel like the energy being like you can feel yourself going into negative, right? Yeah. Like I'm doing it, and I physically feel I'm like, oh. Okay, well, I just used up this version of the ATP. Like I can physically feel my body being like, all right, man, like I can only hold this for so much longer, and then it's like
the heavy, like
yeah.
My God.
But I mean that's the objective is like that 25 calories, even though you do it in 21 seconds or whatever, like you're done. Like you do that, and you're taking like at least for me, it's taking me a couple minutes to recover.
Yes. We have a couch right next to ours. We have a couch right next to ours, and it's just got a sheet over it because everybody finishes that Airdyne and just collapses on that couch.
But the idea is to train your system to be more redundant, or have more endurance, right?
More resilient to those efforts.
I've been bad about cardio lately, and I've got on that damn thing a few times recently, and I'm like, oh, my recovery is not fast enough. And it's getting cold. Man, when it gets cold, it's hard to stay motivated. I don't really have an excuse because I literally have to walk 10 feet away, and I'm in my paradise. But this time of the year is like the hardest time for me because I hate the cold. I love getting out in the summer and just like sweating as hard as I can, being as hot as possible, and just getting a good workout in.
I love a beach workout.
I've never done a workout on the beach, like in the sand. I hate sand. You like sand?
The funny thing is I really don't.
It's horrible because once it's in, it's like it takes forever to get out, and it gets in every crevice and crack.
Yes. So I really don't love sand, which is funny because I love sand volleyball, at which I'm diving around in the sand, and I love to work out.
Because you're so caught up in it that you don't realize all the fucking sand over your body till you come to, and you're like,
and then I'm like,
the fuck?
Ew, get it off
me.
What's
going on here?
Get it off me. Once you're coated, once you got a fine coat over everything.
Are you just like committed then? You're just like, all right, well, it's too bad. Like, I'm Sandman now.
Sand monster.
Yeah, so I've never done a workout on the beach, though, to be honest.
They're a blast.
Are they?
I just love the ocean. I feel like the ocean.
No, I love the water part.
Honestly, what is it? Negative ions. The ocean puts all waterfalls, different things like that put off negative ions, and so
that's what those balance bracelets are supposed to do, right? Put off negative ions, I believe.
Yeah, I think so. I don't know the science behind that.
I don't either.
Yeah, the ocean does. So it's like okay, that's why I like to work out by it. It's like energy's pumped up, feeling good.
That makes sense. Yep. Well, again, better. Unless you live on the beach or like you see it all the time, you're already probably gonna be in a good mood because like that's like a treat in your life, like vacation or something where you're not around that, and like that means you probably don't have a lot of other responsibilities if you're, because you're often at the beach, right?
Mm-hmm.
So it's kind of nice because you're just like, I can like work out and I have no pressure. I don't have to worry about clients today. I don't have to worry about this or that. It's like I can just the gym, and like I can take as long as I want or go as fast as I want.
Yeah.
And there's something to be said about that.
It is.
So do you take like your own equipment sometimes when you go on vacation and hit the beach, stuff like that, and do your own little workouts that you make up?
Yeah, I like to bring sandbags with me.
I know I've got a bunch of sandbags.
Yeah, so
sandbags are like they're so versatile. You can do everything with them.
Absolutely, and you can empty them. So it's like I can empty the sandbag out, throw it in the bag, and then when I get to the beach, fill it up.
Oh, I never even thought about. Yeah, you can just fill it up with sand beach.
Water. I haven't gotten any of the water bells or bags, but those look like fun too.
I'd just be afraid they'd bust or something. They're probably pretty durable.
They make them really, really durable. So I think it would be. I'm sure they're made to be beat up.
Do you ever heard of GoRuck?
I have.
So I just ordered. That's the. I've got all their inserts and then one of their sandbags, and they're
tough.
They're great, yeah, because that's the thing. Like Zane, again, going back to the neighbor.
There we go.
Number one, you can see that there's this.
Yeah, I was.
You saw that, right?
I was poking it.
Yeah,
earlier.
yeah. Okay, so anyways, he's like slamming it. And he's like, "Can I slam that?" And I'm like, "It's a freaking slam ball. Yes, you can slam it." 2 slams later, poof. I'm like, okay, apparently anybody else can, but you cannot. Now, this guy, my neighbor that we're talking about, is training for strongman competition next year, so he's pretty strong.
He's not your average.
So then I spent like $100, got like a nice name brand. Well, I don't know if it was name brand, but a decent reviewed Amazon sandbag system. Zane literally used it like 3 times, threw it over his shoulder, and like busted the sandbags inside. Like we opened it up after he'd like used it for the first time. I was like, oh, no one else gets to use it today, I guess.
Yeah.
But then we bought GoRuck stuff, and we found that like Zane has yet to break those.
There we go. It's
for now.
It's like the Hulk showed up. Can Hulk smash?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, Zane.
That's literally Zane. He goes at it, but he's not the fastest when it comes to the cardio stuff, but if it's any weight related stuff, yeah, he's gonna out blow it. Yeah, he's gonna be stronger than anybody else. And he has endurance too, so he could, like, if we're doing a weighted like Sunday fun day, we'll do like 135 for like chest press. Mm-hmm. He'll do like all 50 at once. I have to do like little sets of 10. Well, I probably do more than 10 or 15, but I'm running around doing like 5 other exercises at the same time. So
pops off.
Yeah, he's like, oh yeah, there's nothing. So like, yeah, weightlifting day, he just flies through it because you need to show up for one of those days. It's a full body weightlifting as fast as you can go with cardio.
And
you're sore for days.
What was the last cardio you guys did? What was the effort?
So the cardio will be the row machine, the assault bike, and then I might throw in the sled. I might throw in the battle ropes. You might get the sled and the battle ropes. You might get some jump rope. So usually cardio is so ropes, jump rope, sled, row machine, assault bike are like the main cardio items that we use. Pretty much the row machine and the assault bike always in the workout. Except this weekend, the row machine was not in the workout. I wrote the workout, wasn't paying attention, and did a 500 row thinking it was, because I was thinking about adding it and didn't add it. And then when the other guy that I was working out with wasn't looking, I added it to the workout.
Oh yeah, but hey,
by the way,
wait a second.
And then he I saw him like looking at it funny. I'm like, yeah, I added the row. And he's like, okay, I didn't think that was there at the beginning. And I was like, yeah, well, I did it, so you got to do it now.
Trick or treat workout.
Yeah.
It's like, what do you want to do?
But yeah, sometimes we'll do buy-ins. Sometimes I'll throw in a surprise. Like one time I threw in a surprise and everyone had to go run a mile. They did not like that surprise at all.
That's a terrible surprise.
Yeah, that was not a very well received surprise. But everyone did it. Even if they walked it, everyone made the full mile.
That's awesome.
But you put together some workouts too. I'm always seeing you do like other than like the mobility stuff, but I've seen you put like some workouts together. What kind of workouts do you guys do?
Man, I usually take what we're focusing on mobility wise or movement wise, and then I'll go and put it into a workout so they can use it. So we're working pulling or pushing or working on crawling or whatever. I really, with my clients, it's about them. What's your adventure is what I like to ask.
Right.
Them. What's your adventure, and let's go prepare you for it.
Okay. So is really mobility the main thing that most of your clients do?
More and more.
So you're not doing as much like strength or
I will end some days with it. because I have some clients that still want me to program some of that in
Okay.
for them. But yeah, mainly it's
You don't do any kind of like HIIT or metabolic training, trying to get their heart rate up, let them rest, get their heart rate back up.
Yeah,
kinda,
yeah, I will. But more and more, it's mobility.
It's just
and
learning how to move the body better.
for me, I'm at a place where I get to make the decision. I have.
Of course.
I get to make the decision to focus in. Yeah, to laser focus in on what I want to give, and how I want to serve my clients.
Right. Well, I mean, ideally, right? They come with you with goals, but they want your expertise to help them achieve those goals, and also recognize maybe other goals that are needed as well, right?
Absolutely.
So, I love doing it. It's great.
Right on. It's awesome when someone loves what they're doing.
Yeah,
It's a beautiful thing.
there really is that old saying, like you do feel like you're actually working sometimes when you love what you do, but I promise you feel like you're working a lot less than you think you would. Anytime I haven't really done it with personal training, but with photo and video, there are times that I'm like, oh man, I do not want to go do this job today. But at the end of the day, like, there's so many other jobs I would rather not do so much worse.
Absolutely.
And not even get paid a fraction of the money.
I clean.
So it's all about
horse
mindset.
stalls. Absolutely. I cleaned horse stalls. That was my first job.
Oh, really?
On a horse ranch, and cleaned stalls and took them out of their little cages and whatever you call it. Somebody's going to listen to this and be like, cages, take the horses out of the cages.
Were you working for Tiger King?
Oh, take them out.
The Horse King?
Clean their stall. That's what it's called, stalls. There we go. Take them out of the stall.
The cages.
I know there's a word for it, not cages. But yeah, I would not want to do that job again. Horse
See,
piss
I got
sounds
lucky on
miserable.
my first job. I was a lifeguard.
Oh, that's an awesome.
So I'm not
first
going to
job.
lie. I was spoiled, man. I was
Heck yeah.
hitting on other teenage girls my age. Like I'm like 15 or 16 years old. Like, so I'd get tan as shit. I meet all of the girls in the neighborhood around. Like,
Blow your whistle at some.
oh yeah, I'd kick people out there. There were people like I knew from high school that like were just like buttholes, assholes to people, and I'd be like, I'm gonna find a reason. I'm gonna kick them out.
I'm just watching like a hawk. Wait for it.
No, there's this one kid I had to sit down because he was misbehaving, and lifeguards had the power to make other people like sit next to their chair for like put them in timeout. Pretty much, I could put people in timeout at 15 yeyears old. I could put full grown adults in timeout if I wanted, or they had to leave. Mm-hmm. So I had this like other high school buddy. He's an old friend. We were newer friends at that point in time, but I put him in timeout, and we're throwing football, and the football I launch it and it skips. And it skips and hits him right in the nuts while he's sitting in the thing. And I literally just see him fall into the water. And the lifeguard had to jump in and pull him out. I felt so bad. But yeah, lifeguarding for a first job was not a bad first job, to be honest.
That's when you need like the glasses that can record.
Oh my God, right?
Shot
Oh yeah,
there.
that would have been one of those viral videos,
Absolutely.
like all the great videos that we've missed over the years before we had digital.
Have you seen those glasses?
Which ones? Are you talking about like the Google Glass?
No, Ray-Ban is making glasses now that has a camera on each arm. Each arm of the glasses has a camera on the end of it, right here, built in. You can't see it, like unless you're up. My buddy was wearing them. I was like, is that a camera? I had to like get up kind of close to it.
Really?
And so it records. You can snap pictures. You can hit it, and it's got like a touch sensor on the side, so it's all touch strokes and stuff.
Is it just for recording?
So you can take pictures. You can record. If you hold it, it'll start a recording. It has built-in headphones into the arms of these things that like conduct sound so you can hear it, but like he was listening to music next to me and I could just barely hear it coming from them, but it sounds
Does it
loud.
look bad though? Did the headphones come back into the, or do the headphones always stick out?
There's no headphones. It's literally just like they look like sunglasses.
Really? What are these? Hey, what are these things called, Keenan?
They look like Ray-Bans.
This guy's pop culture. Like this guy knows everything about pop culture. Like when we had a trivia team, this is the guy that we had on our team. Him and this other guy that was super smart named Bill. That was like this old dude that knew everything, and he literally knew like everything.
When I started talking about the Ray-Ban glasses, I saw his feet start shuffling. It was like,
He gets all excited.
I could
Yeah.
tell he had something to add. That was awesome.
How much are they?
400, 500, something like that.
Oh wow, so they're not cheap.
I think they were
Were they
I think they were
1080p though?
400.
Probably not
They were
4K.
they were nice. I don't.
can bring over my old model spectacles and let you.
What you talking about? Your Snapchat?
Yeah, it's not that
Yeah, I remember those.
Yeah, it's like those, but they just look sleeker. They look like a pair of Ray-Bans.
Right, so they don't. So they actually like you could wear them and like actually look sleek and
They
be
look-
like, oh yeah, I'm recording
They
you.
look like Ray-Bans. Like I couldn't tell that there was a camera in them until like I'd been sitting.
Oh wow, so they really did like they would go as like a piece of jewelry and actually like
100%.
look like a piece of jewelry instead of like
100%.
because those Snapchat ones, those things look
They're,
goofy
like,
as hell.
gaudy, like,
But it was a thing then.
there's like
so.
a big ghost on the side of the frame. Like
That's true. I forgot about that.
nice.
Okay,
Technology, it blows my mind.
it's changed. It's changed the fitness game and the way that
Absolutely.
people like do I mean, think about what MyFitnessPal does for you now.
Mhm,
Like you count all your macros. I've got a freaking $30 scale that breaks down body fat percentage and all this other BMR or BMI. Now I don't really think it's that accurate, but it gives me like if someone stands on it and even if it's off, even if there's change, I know that change is based on that initial, right? It's
Yeah,
not.
You can set a flag and say, hey, here's where we are.
Right. Yeah. Here's where we
As long as it's
started.
consistent. even
Right,
if
and
it's
we see when we're
consistently
losing
wrong.
weight or the body fat percentage is going down. You may not really be at 26% body fat, but we do know that you've definitely lost probably 2%, right? Because it says 24 now.
Heading in the right direction.
Right. But yeah, technology is like,
Blows my mind. Like the mirror. The mirror is such a cool idea. Have you seen those?
oh yeah, it is interesting. Yeah, so that's the one where it comes down. It has a bench that comes out of it, right?
I don't know.
I think there's one that it has a bench
that's-
come
I
out.
think that's Tonal. I think I saw that. Tonal has one now that has like what's the machine?
Is
that
the static? Is it the static hold thing? I know that's a big thing right now. Static holds.
just a big.
Have you seen some of that training?
Yes, it's hard. Oh my God. I was at a UPW conference, Tony Robbins conference, and they had, I can't remember the name of the company, but they're who trains Tony. And that man, I sat on 4 different machines. I sat on a squat. So it was like I sat in this chair
Okay.
that had like pads over my shoulders, I think, or maybe I was sitting back for that. So I sat back like I was in the squat machine, and it was like, okay, you're just gonna push as hard as you can until I say stop. So they would just watch until I think I had so many tries. It was like they gave you so many drops in force that you were putting out, and as soon as you hit a certain number of drops in force, it's like, okay, you're done. And it was maybe 10, 15 seconds. And then the next machine was the same thing, but bench. So it's like get underneath the bar, and then you're not going to move it anywhere, but you're just going to put as much force as you can into it for a certain amount of time. And it gives them a readout. So they gave me a full reading of like what I had done.
But there's people doing that for every body part, like a 5-day split, just going as heavy as they can, going into a static hold, and then holding.
Mhm.
And there's apparently a machine that does like a full body thing. You might have been one of the machines that you saw, but like up to like a year ago, I would have never even thought about that. and granted, becoming a personal trainer, I've learned some stuff, but I just like would never thought about that as a program.
Isometrics.
But it works.
Yeah.
There's
You're putting force.
there's
through your
science
body.
behind it.
Putting force through your body, and that's the language our body speaks. If you want to,
Right.
if you want to strengthen that tissue, whatever tissue it is, introduce it to force, teach it how to use it and control it safely. And our nervous system does magnificent things with that.
Right. So I'm going to be interested to see how that progresses over the next few years, because it's a newer concept. I wouldn't even say it's probably newer. It's probably been around for a while, but the idea of it becoming more mainstream is newer,
absolutely.
and people do not do change well, especially because we've all been lifting. I mean, you've been lifting weights the same way for the most part for like the last, I don't know how many years.
Mm-hmm.
Some things have changed, the introduction of like kettlebells in the last 30 years and that stuff, but like your basic like chest press and squatting stuff like that really hasn't changed since like the 60s, 70s.
And that's what the focus is with my mobility work is let's go and take a certain line of tissue, whether it's your shoulder, or we're trying to work on your hamstrings or whatever it is. Let's go put you in positions that you need to improve in, and let's go to the end ranges of your rotation and your movement in those, and then let's get strong in that stuff. And when you teach the body how to be strong in that way, if I teach the hip how to be a better hip, whenever I go and say squat, yeah, you're going to squat better.
Of course.
And you introduce it to more and more force. So those end ranges that don't need 250 pounds to challenge them. It's like, man, if I get you in an end range position, moving half a pound is hard and hard to control. So it's like, go get really strong incrementally in that stuff, and everything in between, outside of those end ranges.
So do you see a lot of people like improve the depth of their squat then doing this mobility stuff, because that's the problem is a lot of people, they can get lower, but then they start doing with that butt wink, right? Where their butt, and now your back's doing a lot more work and your trunk's not sitting in there and assisting the way it needs to. So you found that like doing a lot of this mobility stuff that you're doing has really helped people with trying to have.
Absolutely. Because our brain wants to protect us. Our nervous system wants to protect us. So if it thinks that getting too deep into a squat is going to put us in a position that's going to hurt us, it's going to do its best to keep us out of that position. It's going to say, oh, let's make the hamstrings tight so that we can't get down that far. Let's protect us in some way. Let's get tight to protect us. So if we go in and we train that stuff to be strong, and then we convince the nervous system, hey, like this stuff can do its job, and it can work with force well and safely, it starts to give us that stuff back.
Okay. Yeah. So how long does it take usually if someone, how often do you usually have a client like do the mobility stuff? I'm guessing in or out. And then how long do you see like where people are like that light bulb comes on and they're like, oh, this works?
Honestly, for most of my clients is day one, because I can help them see improvements in how they can control their body. For some people, the easiest place to go to is the toes. So many people walk around with their feet like crammed up in shoes all day long, and they're not able to articulate their toes anymore because they're used to having their feet.
Oh, like they have trouble moving individual toes. Really?
I'll have them stand there and I'll say, hey, pick up your big toes. And most people can't do that. Pick up your other toes. A lot of people struggle to articulate their feet. And so that's one of those things.
Now I'm trying to articulate my feet and my foot. I'm like, okay, I got this. I'm good.
We can do it after we get off, but I'll take you through my foot. I took one of my buddies through my foot routine that I do every single morning. It's
really?
Like, hey, let's just go. And that's the cool thing about it. It like once my clients know the routine, they can knock it out in 5-10 minutes if they need to. If it's like, hey, I'm in a rush, I don't have time, but I want to give my body a little love, they can run through their full morning routine. I call it adventure prep. So it's like they can go through their adventure prep in 5-10 minutes, and they've put a little money in the bank of let's teach our body how to do its job really well. It's been fun.
That's pretty awesome. I can tell you get super passionate every time that like you start talking about it. You're just
I'm
like
finding my lane. It's like
right.
I took shots at different things, and it's like,
and you think this is the skill set you want to specialize in within personal training.
I'm really enjoying this
because. And how long have you been personal training now for? Like paying clients, I guess. How long have you been doing it at that professional level?
3 years now.
Okay.
I've done Beachbody for 6.
Wow, you did that for a while.
Yeah, I was in the gym always. So I would have friends that would ask me to work out with me and stuff. And I would take them, for me, I would take them through my workouts. Like, okay, this is how I trained when I was training for basketball, or this is how I trained when I was training for football. And I would let them go through those with me. But I'd say, the past 3 years, I've really found like what I love and enjoy learning and giving. Yeah, it's been fun.
It's the mobility stuff. Yeah, that's awesome. Was there any other avenues you tried that you really liked or you really disliked? Like you're like, oh man, I do not want to do that within personal training.
I thought I wanted to look like The Rock at one point, so
everyone wants to look at The Rock. I also thought I wanted to look like him at one point in time.
I got up to 260, and I felt like I'm 220 right now. And I got to 260, and it looked good, but I felt terrible. It wasn't good for how I wanted to live my life.
Like all that extra weight was not
volleyball at 260. It was not a thing. Going hiking.
How long did that take you to get there?
I was working on, man, how long would that have been?
You must have been working out twice a day.
Years. Yes, it's several phases. You know, I was in.
You
there a
had to have
couple
been, and you
times
might
a
have
day.
been eating like crazy.
That was a job. Oh my God.
That's my biggest part is to like eat eat healthy in a surplus.
Yeah.
You know, get that 200 grams of protein a day.
Yeah, it was a job, and I was really just taking, I was using, at first I was just taking shots in the dark as far as the nutrition side
Right.
of things went. I knew I needed to be eating a lot, and then I started using one of Beachbody's programs, and it was amazing how much simpler it made it. And once I had something consistent and simple that I could follow that was just based on science, it got the job done. My body, my muscles started growing faster, started putting on size easier, and I felt like I wasn't even training as hard. So that was pretty impressive for me. But yeah, I didn't enjoy that. Beachbody, honestly, you asked what else have I done that I enjoyed? I really enjoyed that.
Was it their philosophy, their workouts? Like, what was it about Beachbody that really attracted you? I know a lot of people do it to make money.
Yeah. I think it was the simplicity. It's like they have awesome energetic workouts that get people results, and it's simple. It's at home.
You don't have to think about it.
You don't have to think about it. You don't have to go anywhere. You don't have to get.
And most of it's body weight, right? Or like some bands, some like real basic stuff.
Yeah.
I heard the P90X yoga is really good. My buddy keeps wanting me to do it, and I'm just like, we got to find time.
Try it.
It's good.
It'll kick your butt, like how you talk about the workouts.
Yeah.
It'll kick your butt like that.
Oh, I'm sure.
You'll quit. You'll quit at certain points in it.
Oh yeah. Well, when I did the Insanity.
Yeah.
It took me 2 months or a month and a half to get to where I could do the whole workout without stopping and not taking a break.
Yeah. It's just like, ooh, man. And
Even the 10-minute warm up at the beginning when I couldn't even make it through the 10-minute warm up.
Fitness test at the very beginning of Insanity, I was like, okay, we're done, right?
Right. But the results I saw in a month was like, like 20-30% like improvements.
Yeah. So I really enjoy the community. I met some great people, some great mentors, some great friends inside of that community that helped me grow as a man, that helped me grow as a leader, helped me grow my business. And so the community that I found inside of there was so powerful.
Community's powerful,
It
just in
really
general.
is.
Like
We need it.
I mean, even if you don't have a fitness community, like having a community of people that you trust that are there for you, that you're there for them, like it's a must,
Power
at
in
least
that.
for me.
Perspective. It's whenever you can surround yourself with trusted perspective, powerful things happen, because I can't see everything,
No.
A lot of times in life we're standing so close to the things in our life, to whether it's our goals or our the roadblocks in our life, the issues that we're growing through. A lot of times we're just up so close that it's like if it was a skyscraper and I'm standing that close, I'm not going to be able to see the second floor because I'm so close up on the first.
Right.
So having someone that I trust that's 50 feet back or 100 yards back or a mile back that can see the whole building and they can see the whole landscape, that's a powerful thing to have in life. And that's why mentorship is something that I will always seek out and I will always be willing to invest in, because I can't see everything and I don't know everything. And if I can connect myself with someone who can give me a different lens to see life through, it can.
If you're able to put the ego to the side and be like, I am here to learn, and it could be, I believe I can learn something from anybody. I believe that there's probably, it could be a brand new client, never worked out before, and I guarantee you they could give me some kind of random fitness fact that I did not know that they've learned through their life journey.
Or life fact.
Life fact. But I'm just saying, I'm never going to disregard anybody. I'm always going to try to be open-minded, because I find that you get further in life that way.
Absolutely. So.
I
know is the end of learning. I heard I can't remember who I heard say that, but it was like, whoa, like the moment you, like if we're having a conversation and I say I know, like you're like, my bad.
The end of learning.
You got it. My fault. So I know is the end of learning. So being open, to just listen and absorb and see how they've seen it, because it's like they might be talking about a subject, but maybe they've got a different light to shine on it.
Well, I'm definitely gonna look into more of this mobility stuff, because you've got me kind of intrigued, man.
We'll trade sessions. I'll come for Sunday. You come for a mobility session, or maybe we can put them together. That'd be
we could probably work something out. Yeah, that would be pretty awesome.
Do like a mobility session into one of your jams.
So people do half of my jam. They're like, "Can we just do the mobility part? We don't want to. That other guy. That stuff is no." I mean, that is literally, I make these workouts so that they push me, and then I modify them for anybody that feels like. Mostly, I'll just cut the reps down, because most everybody can do everything that's in them. It's just when you're doing anywhere from 400 to 600 reps in 45 minutes,
you're gonna feel that.
Like you're gonna, but that's what I want. I mean, that's what I'm going. And most of the people that are able to do it and come every week, and my community of people, like, that's exactly what they're looking for too. They're here to be pushed,
right on.
and push themselves. And then get mad at me. No,
like in the middle of it, like flipping you off. Stand, Joe. Why
What?
Do you keep coming back here?
No, I've had a couple people like, I did this again. So, but we had, during, like, in the middle of the summer, we had like an awesome group. One of the guys moved away, that started coming all the time, and a few other people just got busy with life. But hopefully we'll get that going again. But the cold weather, man, it slows people down. It is.
Get out here and get right to it.
Plus, we're about to have 60 days of good eating, right? Not really 60 days, but once Thanksgiving starts, you got 30 days of like
you got
parties
friends,
and food.
Say Friendsgivings, and all.
Halloween this weekend, like.
What was it? I forgot what I was gonna say. Oh, I just went up to Minnesota and experienced this new gym up there that one of my friends is partnering with.
I think, did you post some pictures of it? Okay, yeah.
So Grace took me out to this really cool place called Embrace, and they're doing like this, like a hot cold experience. So we went in and like jumped in the sauna and did some work in the sauna, and then you're in there for 3 to 5 minutes or something. Jump out and you're right into like a Tabata style something or other, or like a imam or something like that, and you're out there for 5 to 10 minutes getting after it on that, and then right back into the sauna.
What did you think of that?
It was awesome. I enjoyed it. It was cold. It's like 5 in the morning.
Was it outside?
Yeah, it's like 5 in the morning, and it's like 40 degrees. So
see, here's my problem. You'd get me in the sauna, you would not get me back out of it till I'm ready to go.
So it's like there's like this mindset side of it that's like, man, I don't want to leave this sauna. Like the first couple trips into the sauna, you're thinking, I don't want to leave this sauna. You're, 4th, 5th, 6th, as you get towards the end, it's like, get me out of this sauna.
Oh, because you're so hot. Like your body's
your
like.
body temperature's up and you get in that sauna. It's like, ooh.
Well, sometimes what we'll do is we'll do the ice bath, and then we'll jump right into the sauna.
Yep.
So, and if you can get your head underneath the ice bath, oh my God.
It's a different kind of animal.
You are awake. Like you are wide awake.
Gets in the ice bath and then goes under. And I thought I was that animal.
I'm not that animal. I usually, because of my knees, I have bad knees. So I literally get in it and I stand and let my knees get so that the inflammation go down. And I'm like, that's as far as it goes. Yep. I'm going up, like I'm not going any higher than the knees.
I get in and I'll dunk my head under. I do it. I dunk my head under to end the session. And I thought that was like, like most, I don't see anybody else doing that. Yeah. And then this one day, this guy comes in, and I hadn't seen him at the gym before. This is while I'm in Bali, and I'd seen some people like that do the dunk, but for the most part, people don't. They're in there like, get me out.
Yeah, right. They're counting down the seconds to get out of there.
He came in, got in. First things first,
dunks
all the way under, and he was under there for like a minute. Bro, he was underwater.
So
40 degrees.
That's the mindset I need, right? It's discipline. Your body can do it, right? It's just having the discipline to be like, this is what I'm going to do. This is how it's going to go.
He came up, hung out, had a conversation like we were sitting in a pool.
He does it he has to do it all the time.
Again. Like throughout the conversation, he would just dunk and hang out.
I wonder if he's been doing the Wim Hof. So like, if you, from what I've read, people that have really adapted to the Wim Hof can like just aren't phased by cold.
Yeah.
Like apparently, it is a thing. At least he's been able to teach certain people to have some of the same kind of resilience to cold, right? Because at first people are like, is this guy like superhuman? And from what I gather, it's just a mindset.
Absolutely,
it's just telling your body.
Our bodies are very adaptable.
Right. But if we believe that our body's going to fail, our body may be more likely. But if we tell our body, I think our body can be more resilient in general by just being like, no, I'm doing one more rep.
Because you have some people that do it in the sauna. Like where is it? Is it Norway? Is it Norway?
What do they do in the
I don't know
sauna?
where it is, but they have like sauna competitions. So they've got the sauna cranked up.
Oh, to see who can.
Cranked down
Yeah.
up to hell.
So the worst I ever did it was 210, 220, and I made it maybe 5 or 6 minutes.
Yeah.
And
So
I was just like, done.
They're
done.
up there for like hours. They're just hanging out in the sauna like for forever.
I can do like, I think we used to do like probably 45 minutes, but it was like 160, so it wasn't like super hot.
My nose ring gets hot. Bro, I was in.
Oh yeah, you need to take that
I
out.
was there one
Anything
day.
metal needs to go.
Yeah, I was in there one day and I was like, my nose is hurting. Why? Like it was aching, and I touched it. And I was like, literally burnt my hand. I was like, oh, I think I should get out. I should probably get out of here.
That's probably a good
It was
idea.
rowdy.
Well, you'll definitely have to come over and hit the sauna with me then.
Let's go. A little ice, a little hot, cold.
Oh my God, yeah. So,
Get a little workout in.
but anyways, Mike, thanks for like coming. This has been a
Absolutely,
blast. We're
absolutely.
probably definitely gonna have to have you on again.
Let's go. Bro talks.
Because I think I'm gonna get to know you better, and I'm gonna have so many more questions about your journey. Because I know we just skimmed the surface tonight on like your journey. You guys, mobility, it's a thing. Mike knows about it. Any last remarks? Any kind of shout outs? Promote the hell out of your brand. Here's your chance. Go for it.
Yeah, I would say if mobility is something that you're seeing a need for in your life, you can follow me at Fire Life Mike on Instagram.
And his Instagram is fire.
It's fun. It's fun. I have
It's
fun
fire
on there.
fun.
I have fun on there. But yeah, I'd love to serve. I love to serve. So hit me up if mobility is something that you could use some help with. And thank you for having me on your show. It's been fun, bro. Like I feel like when I first got here, like that whole thing could have been like on like because our conversations were just fun right off the bat.
Well, and yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, I wish we had caught like the first hour while we were just like shooting the shit before the podcast because there was some gold there.
Absolutely.
And honestly, there's always gold when you're like, we don't have cameras on us, and like I don't have a mic in front of me, and it's just like it's just us like just riffing, right?
Yeah.
And then you get the camera and the mic, and you're like, okay, well, I've got to like kind of think about things.
Say something
Yeah.
appropriate.
Yeah, right.
Don't
And
say
I'm just like,
anything
nah, man, just
inappropriate.
let it, just gurgitate it, let it out. But no, this was a blast. So
Let's do it
thanks for
again, bro.
coming, and we'll do it again, man.
All right,
All right, guys. As always, we'll catch you next time.